Let's be real, the IIT Madras Python exams can feel like a total maze, right? But what if you had a map? Well, that's exactly what this is. Today, we're going to break down some expert strategies to help you absolutely conquer the code. Let's dive in.
You know that feeling? You're staring at a problem, the clock's ticking, and you just have no idea where to even begin? Yeah, we've all been there. But here's the thing. Solving these questions isn't some kind of magic. It's really just about having the right tools and a solid plan. And that's exactly what we're going to build today.
Okay, first up, let's talk about mastering your core toolkit. And I'm not talking about abstract textbook concepts. No, these are the essential, hands-on tools you'll need to tackle pretty much any problem the exam can throw at you.
All right, let's kick things off with a total classic, string slicing. Seriously, this is your _1 go-to for pulling specific pieces of information out of a string. You are going to see this all the time in exam questions, especially with things like roll numbers, dates, any kind of formatted data.
So check this out. Here's a classic example, probably straight from a past paper. You've got a roll number, and you need to pull out just the student's branch. How do you grab only that DS part and just ignore everything else? Well, you guessed it, the answer is string slicing.
And look at how simple this actually is. That roll number 02, that's just telling Python, hey, start at the very beginning at index 0 and grab everything up to, but not including index 2. And boom, just like that, you've got the branch code. Same thing for the year with 2 to 4. Seriously, if you master this one little technique, you've just unlocked how to solve an entire category of exam problems.
Okay, next up in our toolkit, dictionaries. You know them, they're perfect for organizing data with key value pairs. But, and this is a big but, here is a crucial detail that so many people miss. In modern Python, dictionaries actually remember the order you put things in. So the first key you add, it's always going to be the first one out. This isn't just some random fun fact, you guys. This is basically an exam secret.
So what does that actually mean for you? It means when you're tracing code that's building a dictionary, the final output is always going to reflect that insertion order. So if Kubra is added before living, Kubra will always appear first, period. Now an exam question might try to trick you, right? They might update a value later on, but it doesn't matter. The original insertion order of that key is locked in. It's such a small detail, but trust me, it can make all the difference between a right and wrong answer.
All right, so our core toolkit is locked and loaded. Let's move on. Now we're going to tackle some of the topics that can seem a little intimidating. I'm talking about recursion and classes. But don't worry, we're going to break them down into simple, totally manageable steps.
Okay, recursion. All it is, really, is a function that calls itself. And to make sure it doesn't just run forever in an infinite loop, you only need to look for two things. That's it, just two. First, find the base case. This is the stop sign. It's the simple condition that tells the function, okay, we're done here. Second, understand the iterative step. This is just how the problem gets a little bit smaller with every single call. If you can find those two things, you've cracked the code on any recursion problem.
And like developer Harsh says, that base case, it's everything. Without it, your function is just never going to stop. So think about it. If you're in an exam and you're looking at a recursive function and you can't find that base case, you know something is up. That's your clue right there.
Okay, now for classes. And honestly, the absolute simplest way to think about them is as a blueprint. That's it. A class itself doesn't really do anything. It's just the detailed plan, the schematic, that you use to build actual functioning objects.
And this comparison here makes it crystal clear. The class car, that's the blueprint. It defines what a car should have, attributes like its model and top speed, and methods or actions like setting the speed. Then you have the object, my car. That's the actual car you built from the blueprint, and it has its own specific values, right? It's a quid that goes 60. Understanding this separation is so key. The exam is absolutely going to test if you know that changing my car doesn't change the original blueprint one bit, and that you can create tons of different car objects all from that one single class.
Okay, so we've got the concepts down, but how do we actually use them when the clock is ticking and the pressure is on? Well, this section is all about your winning exam strategy. These are the proven methods for applying what you know when it really counts.
Listen up because this is a big one. For any question that has loops or variables that change, you need to use the code tracing method. Get out your scratch paper, and the first thing you do is list every single variable. Then create a simple little table and literally track how each variable's value changes as you walk through the code, line by line. I know it might feel a little slow, but I promise you it is a surefire way to avoid those silly, costly mistakes.
The key here really is just to be methodical. Don't pre-assume anything.
Even super experienced coders make this mistake. They glance at the code, assume they know what it does, and waste so much valuable time. Exam questions are designed with subtle tricks, so you have to trace it step by step. Whatever you do, don't guess.
All right, let's talk about the big one, multiple select questions, or MSQs. The way these are scored is, well, it's unique, so your strategy has to be different. Your entire goal here is to maximize partial credit. And what that means is you only select the answers you are 100% absolutely sure are correct. It is always, always better to leave a correct answer unchecked than it is to risk selecting a single wrong one.
Yeah, just let that number sink in for a second. That is the score you get for the entire question if you check just one wrong box. 0, a big fat 0. So this is not the time to be greedy and guess. Be precise. Secure those partial marks. That's how you win this game.
Whew! We have covered a lot of ground, haven't we? From the core tools to the trickier concepts and those game-winning strategies. So let's put it all together. Here is your final checklist to take with you on exam day.
Here it is, your Conquer the Code checklist. 1. Master your core toolkit, slicing and dictionaries. 2. Demystify the advanced stuff. Break down recursion and classes. 3. Execute your battle plan. Always use code tracing. 4. Ace the MSQs by prioritizing partial credit. And 5, and this might be the most important, stay calm, read every single question carefully. That right there is how you conquer the code.
So there you have it. You have the toolkit, you have the battle plan. The question isn't if you can solve these problems anymore. The question is, what are you going to do first? Are you going to go drill string slicing exercises? Are you going to practice the code tracing method on old problems? The first step, well, that's yours to take. Good luck.